Time to connect with our guests then, and we've got Dipan Mehta joining in on the fundamentals, and on technicals as always, Kunal and Naresh. Dipan, afternoon. I'm so accustomed to saying morning, but I shall say afternoon to you, and getting a take first up as to what the outlook is on, the entire sugar basket. Of course, there is some positive news, but I've noticed that most of these stocks are in pretty much a limbo up until the time that there's some incremental news that actually comes in. What's your take on sugar stocks buzzing in trade today?
Yeah, actually, it's a good morning for me over here because I'm taking this show from Brighton, UK, and it's lovely weather over here. So, good morning to you from my side. And when it comes to sugar stocks, I think the numbers were extremely disappointing per se, and it's a highly, volatile type of industry. But on the whole, I think medium-term prospects are good because this commitment of the government to go in for higher and higher blending of ethanol certainly is going to provide long-term stability to earnings. And there were some hiccups when it came to what feedstock could and could not be used for ethanol, but now I think that's more or less sorted. And also sugar prices have gone up. So I would be intuitively more positive on the sugar industry. Typically, after a few quarters of downbeat numbers, you do see an upswing in sugar numbers as well. And valuations are reasonable in markets like this, where investors are looking for good quality, low P stocks. This is one segment, which certainly fits that criteria.
Talking about the sugar space, then we earlier spoke to the managements of Balrampur Chini as well as Sri Renuka on the entire government move coming in, easing the sugar supply for ethanol production. Listen into what they had to say.
Decision makers that next year's crop looks to be quite good. The rain gods have been quite kind to India. So the confidence in the government is there that that's adequate stocks available. From Renuka's perspective, it definitely is bound to help the volume. As far as the Indian value is concerned, sugar as a sector is totally inflation-proof. The government has managed the sugar releases and the pricing so well that I think the Indian consumer has had it very good. So we don't expect sugar prices in the country to move up. So we expect that the minimum selling price would also be increased in due course of time, possibly before the new season kicks in. So government is seized of the matter, and the industry is also pursuing it, and our association, ISMA, is also pursuing it vigorously, and the government is also seized of the matter. Because you can't keep jacking up the price of cane and not do anything about the minimum selling price. So I think we can expect that to also happen in due course of time.
Full impact of this relaxation will come only in FY26. Our capacity to produce is around 35 crores annually, out of which 5 crores can be made out of alternative feedstock other than sugarcane, which we operate normally in the off-season. 3 crores is meant for ENA production. Remaining 27 crores is for ethanol production. So any price revision which will happen subsequent to this announcement and the current FRP will be applicable on this 27 crores liter. But that 27 crores is the available capacity with us. Whether we would be doing 27 crores or less, that will depend upon the availability of feedstock, which is sugarcane in our case.
Let's get in a quick take from you then on the charts, taking a look at the broader end of the market. Prestige Estates, AU Small, those are buzzing in trade, and Garden Reach.
Well, yeah, I think the defense pack is actually a bit active. So Garden Reach, Masscount Dock, you've seen good recovery for the likes of HAL and BEL from their yesterday's swing lows. So I think in a matter of percentage points, I think these stocks have recovered by a margin of 4% to 7%, broadly from the large cap towards mid caps. So I think there could be a case of a short covering rally, at least over the near term for many of these stocks. Would probably expect these stocks to climb up by at least another 2% to 4% in the next couple of days before you see some sort of selling pressure which could emerge into these pockets. The real estate pack is also a lot more active. So I was looking at the charts for Oberoi Realty, DLF, etc., and even Prestige in that matter. I think all of these stocks are getting back into a reversal or a recovery mode. So this, I think, should bode up quite well for the markets, because we were trading at a point where the sector-specific churn was getting a lot more narrow. The markets were dependent very heavily on those key sectors like IT, FMCG, pharma. But I think if we see this this kind of a recovery which you've seen from the last 2 days, where differentiated sectors are making a comeback, real estate, defense, potentially even banking stocks, then I would probably believe that the markets could get a lot more broad-based. So looks attractive as a space, and many of these stocks, Prestige, Garden Reach, etc., are looking attractive for another 2 to 5% on the upside.
All right, so defense and real estate looking good as of now is what Kunal has to say. But on that note, we slip into a break on this edition of Closing Trades. Don't go anywhere.